Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg. I'm so excited that everyone is joining us, and I'm so excited that our friend Kim Bearden is here. Hey Kim.
Hi, I'm excited to be here too.
Thank you so much, Kim. We know you are super busy. I know all of y'all are busy, so we're thankful that y'all took some time out of your night to hang out with us. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We're really just here to encourage you and uplift you. So we're just going to talk about how to finish the year strong. And of course, why not have some giveaways? So we're giving away tickets to Elevate Phoenix and Elevate Virtual. So it's easy to enter tonight's giveaways. All you have to do is hit the share button, invite your friends to join us, and leave us some comments. So the more you share and the more you talk to us in the comments, the more chances you have to win tickets to Elevate Phoenix or Elevate Virtual. So get in the comments, tell us where you're from, how your school year's going, ask us questions if you have any questions. And then at the end of tonight's live, in about 30 minutes, we'll choose winners to Elevate Phoenix and Elevate Virtual. Kim, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm actually on my spring break, Greg. So I am rested more than normal and I'm feeling great. I'm ready for the home stretch for the end of the year.
And I know you were just in the Bahamas.
I was. So I have a daughter who's 34 years old, my heart, my soul. And I have 3 sons as well, but we kind of have started to make it this thing where our spring break, we go off and do a little mama, daughter, girls trip. And so we went to the Bahamas. We don't usually do that. We usually go somewhere close like Florida, but we did it and it was beautiful and warm and sunny. We had a great time.
Love it. Love it. Okay. And so here's a fun fact about Kim and myself. We have the same birthday.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
And Scott Baio does too. I don't know if you remember who he is.
Yes.
Why do I know that? I think when I was a kid, somebody told me that. Chachi.
I love that. Yeah. Scott Baio, nice.
That's
okay.
really
And it's also
I
the
did
day
not
ice
know
cream.
that though. So that's great trivia. See, now I'll always know to wish you a happy birthday. That's great.
We have the same birthday. Yeah. So and I'm just so glad that you're here because you're always such a positive force for teachers and for kids. And so I love that. And another connection that we have is that we both have adopted. And so I know that your boys are adopted. Our daughter is adopted. I actually just took her today for her 4-year-old checkup. So we had to get 4 shots.
How'd she handle those? Okay.
Better than expected.
Okay, good.
Better than expected. There was some screaming and crying, but we were good. And then, of course, we had ice cream for dinner. So
there you go. You know, she's 4 now. You're going to blink and she's going to be 14. It goes really quickly.
and you know, everyone said that, and they still say that. And I think back, like, you know, when she was first born, everyone would say that. And it's like, oh, okay. But it was like yesterday we carried her home on an airplane at 10 days old, and now she's going to kindergarten.
That's beautiful. Yeah, my sons, I adopted them when they were a little bit older. They're from Soweto, South Africa, and actually met them when we were there on a school trip. It was a beautiful thing. But they've been with us now 10 years. So they're actually in college now. They're in their 20s, but they were 12 when we adopted them. So they're 22, 23 years old. They're all 3 the same age, within a few months of each other, but they're not biological brothers. So okay. I got three kids to put through college at the same time and all. That was kind of that was kind of not maybe good planning, but they're phenomenal. The light of our lives. We adore them. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, today at school, one of my kids was like, I want to be an adult when I get bigger. Adults have fun. And I was like, listen, kid, like adulting from a 5-year-old perspective is a lot different than adulting now, because like you're putting three kids through college, and Adeline had me up from 3 to 5 last night. And it's like, adulting is hard. It looks fun, but listen.
The very first time my daughter was out on her own, I remember she went to the grocery store to get stuff for her apartment on. She called me up and she was like, I'm so upset. And she said, why? She said, because I didn't know how expensive garbage bags are. And I had to buy shampoo and soap. And she said, she's like, all these things, you know, because when she's in college, you know, she'd come home and stock up on all that. She's like, my whole paycheck's gone buying things like that. So yeah, adulting's not always fun.
Not always fun. Well, I want to remind everybody that we are giving away a ticket to Elevate Virtual and a ticket to Elevate Phoenix. So easy to enter. Hit the share button, invite your friends, and join us in the comments. Let us know where you're from. What do you teach? If you have any questions, you can ask those in the comments. And so tonight, me and Kim, we're just going to talk about how to finish the year strong, because, you know, like Kim's still on spring break, but those of us who have just wrapped up spring break, we know when we come back from spring break, it's crunch time, right? And it's also the weather's better. So the kids are more excited. They want to be outside more. They have more energy. It's harder to keep them focused. But we also know that there's so much potential in this time for memory and fun and learning. And so, it can be easy. We're all tired and ready for a break. So it can be easy to kind of give up and be like, okay, we're done. But now it's not the time to do that. Right, Kim?
Absolutely. So you all that don't know, this is my 38th year teaching. So I'm about to have my 38th year ending. And so, I've had good years and bad years, but I absolutely love teaching and I love what I do. And there are some things you learn along the way, especially sometimes maybe even the most difficult times is when you learn the best what to do differently, right? So that you are in it for the long haul. I think that one thing just to be mindful of is that in teaching and in all professions, negativity breeds negativity. And we do have a lot of challenges and we have things to be frustrated with and we're tired. And I am not negating how hard it is because I teach fourth, fifth, and sixth grade every single day. And it's, and I run a school too. Like I got all these jobs and all of us have multiple things we're trying to do. So I absolutely agree that is hard. But one of the things I learned to do in a mindset thing is that an expression I'll say to people is, tell me something good. What do you mean? Like about me? Yeah. Tell me something good about you or tell me about my class. Yeah. Like, tell me something good. What's something good that's going on? Like if you walk into a room and you say, tell me something good, tell me something that you're happy about. It's interesting because when you do that, people will need to stop and think because there are always, there's something good to be shared. And it could be about maybe their own child, or it could be about, their parent, or it could be about something that happened in their classroom. You're also giving people, when you say that, you're giving them an opportunity to maybe share something they're proud of, but they don't want to boast about it, right? They don't want to be like, oh, guess what my kids did today? But if you say, tell me something good, and they say, oh, my kids, we finally had this breakthrough, you're giving them an opportunity to share something that they feel good about. And so that's another way for you to kind of uplift them. When you have those kind of conversations, it's interesting because what we tend to do is we walk in a room and say, oh my gosh, those fifth graders, what in the world, what was going on with them today? They were squirrely. And then you know what the next person says? You're right. And you know what? So-and-so did. And let's talk about the parents. Oh, you think you had a rough day? Let me tell you what happened in my classroom. We try to one up each other with what happened bad. And there are things that are bad, but instead it's so great if you say, tell me something good. What's something that's happy? What's something that you're excited about? It changes the conversations. And when you have those kind of conversations, you tend to feel lighter, you feel better. Hope that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And people in the comments are loving it too. But one of the first things you said, I'm so glad that you said it because you said, I still love teaching. Mm-hmm. And I want more teachers to say that.
Me too.
Because social media is, and we were having a social media conversation before we went live. Social media, there's so many teachers talking about how they don't love it and they're burned out and they don't want to do it anymore and they quit. And we are both in the classroom full time. We both completely understand how hard it is. This has been my hardest year in 10 years with my class. I get it. But just like you, I love teaching. I love being in that classroom with those kids, even on the hard days, even on the bad days. Like you said, there's always something good. Mm-hmm. And I remember years ago, I was at a school and it had gotten very toxic. And the way I got through that year was every day I focused on something positive in my classroom, no matter how little. It could be the smallest little thing, but that's what I focused on each day. And that's what got me through. And people will ask me, how do you get through a hard year? Or what if your school's toxic? And like you said, look for the good. Tell me something good. I try to find one little positive thing to focus on. Because even in the bad days, even in those hard days, even when the kids, like you said, the fifth graders are like, whoa, there's always something good, right? There's always something good. And you have to find that. And I love that you want people to share that because I think the more we can talk about the good, the better. And the more we can talk about the good with teaching and with our classrooms, I think the more we can change the narrative.
I agree so much, Greg. And here's the thing. Like I said, neither one of us, for those of you that are having maybe even your roughest year ever, we're not negating that there are some real challenges in this profession. My gosh, You should be paid more. You should have more planning time. I mean, we know what the challenges are. Right. Absolutely. And I wish we had the power to change those. And so that is real. But one of the biggest challenges that's out there is that we have more teachers leaving this profession than entering it, right? I read recently that I think it's 41% of schools, even as of March of this year, still had vacancies where they never filled it. And then if it's schools from low wealth situations, students of color, majority minority schools, 55% of those schools still have vacancies. So when you have vacancies, that makes it harder for all of us, right? Because the teachers are having to cover for those classes that there isn't somebody, or they're having to double up. They're having to teach more. They're having to teach more classes than they would normally because there's nobody, or they're putting a warm body in that classroom, somebody who may not know how to teach those kids, just somebody. And so those kids get all geared up, and then they come to your class and they haven't been taught by somebody. The implication of the teacher shortage affects all of us. So I say that to say, we've got to do a better job of how we brand education because we're shooting ourselves in the foot. If we are always talking about how horrible it is, then there aren't going to be it's just going to get worse for us because nobody wants their kids to teach. Nobody wants to teach. I'm not going to teach. Teachers are the most miserable people. So it hurts us instead of helps us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always, when I do PD and workshops and Elevate, I always end with that. Like I always say, we don't have a marketing department. We don't have a PR person. We are the marketing department. We are the PR person. And so we have to tell people, yes, we want to be real. We want people to know how hard it is, the challenges, that yes, we absolutely 100% should be paid more, right? We should have more, all of that. But we need to let people know the amazing things that are happening in our schools and our classrooms every single day. Because people don't know the truth about what's going on in our schools. And, 162 people are here right now. That's 162 classrooms where incredible things are happening.
Absolutely.
And multiply that by 20 to 30 kids, like how many lives are you impacting? Right. And if you can go out on social media and tell those good things, like that multiplies exponentially. And we have so much power to change that and inspire others. And that's what I want for teachers.
I love that, Greg. And I love that idea too, of just, we need to brag on each other. Like we need to brag on the people in our building because, you don't want to be on there go, oh, guess what I did? You don't want to, you share ideas, but you don't ever want to brag. And so there's a lot of, that too. Sometimes people are not kind to teachers. Some teachers are quitting because they feel bullied by other teachers when they're doing the right stuff. Right. You're making us look bad because you're doing too much. That kind of thing. So, but if we could really, brag on each other, just show all the good things that are happening. Oh my gosh, it'd be so powerful.
Right, absolutely, and especially now as we kind of listen. It's like it always scares me a little bit when I realize, oh, spring break is over. And I'm in the last quarter, like it comes out of nowhere. And somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, a friend of ours said, oh, are you glad the school year's almost over? Are you so excited for summer? And it's always a bittersweet moment because of course we love summer, right? We love our break. We love some time off, but no, I'm not. Like you don't want to leave your kids, right? You've built this amazing family in your classroom and you've grown to love them even on the days when they drive you bonkers. Right? Like you still love them. But also I'm like, no, I'm not. Like we have so much more we need to learn before they go to first grade. Right? Like I'm down to 41 days. Like I've got to get them as much in there as I can in 41 days. And so we're kind of at the end of the marathon. And this is the time when you don't want to stop running. I actually read something the other day, and that's what made me want to reach out to you and have you come on with me tonight. Just something about it made me think of you and RCA. But it said that it's scientifically proven that runners speed up at the end of a race. Marathon runners, 5K runners, as they get to those last couple of miles, they actually speed up. Even though they're utterly exhausted, their bodies hurt, they actually, what they have found is they tend to relax a little bit. They focus more on their breathing and they speed up. And I was like, man, like that's exactly what we need at the end of the school year is because if you think about it, imagine if you've trained for a marathon and you're at mile 24 and you're like, done. And you just stop. Right. Like, that's what I feel like happens sometimes in teaching is we get to the end of the year, we're just like, okay, we're done.
And honestly, I feel like that's what creates more discipline problems for teachers is, you're not, if you're keeping them, on task and engaged, things to do, you got to keep them moving. This is, boy, you got to keep a lot of movement in your classroom because they are excited. So you got to, teach them through a lot of movement and activities and hands-on things like that. But yeah, you got to go strong to the finish line. And it's actually in the long run, your days are going to go faster for you, right? Like when we're busy and we're active and we're learning, the days just fly by. And it's also going to help with the discipline in the classroom because they don't have time to be doing other things. They're focused and doing what you need them to be doing. I think that's really important. And, you think about children's minds. I mean, I feel like they're going to remember how the year ended a lot more than they're going to remember how it started. You want them to take that positive memory, this positive outlook about school. You want them to be sad for the year to end.
Right.
So that they are so ready for the first day of school that they lie in bed and go, I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get back. If they're miserable those last few weeks, they're going to be like, I don't want to go back to school in the fall. So that's a lot to put on us. But honestly, like the more you keep going, like you said, I think it actually makes us happier in the long run. We'll have a better time ourselves.
Actually, I saw a comment pop up a second ago, and the teacher said that she saves all of her favorite themes and units for the end of the year.
I love it.
I love it, right? Like, because like if we're going to teach the things that we love, we're going to be way more passionate about it. And I love saving that for the end of the year because it just gives you
something to look forward to, right? Yeah, right. We all have things that we just get excited about teaching. I love that.
Yeah, so we actually planned out the end of our year, and like we're doing. Again, I was telling my team, I'm new to the school this year, new on the team. So, I'm kind of like, I try to stay a little quiet and not, but I'm like, listen, let's do some fun themes, right? Let's do things that kids love and get excited about. It'll just make the end of the year easier. And so, we're doing animals and space and the dinosaurs, maybe. Like kids love those things. And so they're going to be so excited. Like how much fun is that?
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
I love it. Also when I was thinking about, by the way, I'm loving seeing the comments. So many of y'all have been doing this so many years too. I love it. We got a lot of just veterans that you're still staying the course and excited and happy because you're helping all the people who are newer to understand that you can still love this job. So I love seeing that. I loved when you said that, you try to think about something good every day, like something good every day. A couple of things about that it triggered in my memory or in my thought is that one thing I started doing years ago, we make a big deal over 8th grade graduation in our school when our kids leave, but the kids get these sashes. And I have kind of made it the thing that every year when they get the sash, I put it on them, but I look them in the eyes and I tell them everything I see in them. But I try to give examples of the time that you did this. And when that day that I saw you do this with that student, that's when I knew you're the kind of person who's always going to help other people. Like I give concrete examples. And so now, because I'm getting old and I've taught a lot of kids, I realized I need to start like documenting this early. So I'm not trying to, so now I have a Google Doc of my 4th graders. And anytime a kid does something that just like touched my heart, because you think you'll remember those things, but we know we don't, right? Like touched my heart, or they did something that was funny or sweet, or they just made me smile, or just something like that. I'm trying to record all of it. And for me, it's going to be cool because I'll be able to be with them their whole journey and when the end of 8th grade, but it could even be something you do between now and the end of the year. And the reason that sounds like work, but it's really simple for me. I mean, it's just all typed out. I don't even worry about anything. I just do it really fast, but it helps me to focus on the good. Like, so every kid, even that kid that may be the kid that's challenging. Yeah. But I saw a glimmer of something really, really cool about that kid. And it helps you to be remembering the positive. And then one other thing is that years ago, someone told me, like my 2nd year teaching, I wish I could give credit to whoever it was because I don't remember who it was, but it's 37 years ago. but they said, whenever kids give you cards, notes, sticky notes, whatever like that, keep them, right? And some teachers do that, but I have now, it's a whole drawer. And, and things you get electronically now, like emails too. So now I have a folder, like if a kid writes me an email that like thanking me for something or something like that, I have them in a folder in my email, but I also have a whole drawer. And there have been some days when I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm so tired. Is it even, because I'm human. And I'll pull that out and I'll pull out something, and maybe like from 5 years ago, or maybe even from 15 years ago, and look at that card or that note that parent wrote or something like that. And it helps me. So if you've never done that, I call it my hugs drawer. I might sound cheesy, but it's like, so yeah, it just kind of when you need to hear a positive word or something that remind yourself, no, that was a good thing, like that, I did the right thing, or I made a difference there. You have some examples of that. So just a suggestion for people that maybe just start that if you don't already do something like that.
I have my drawer of things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, it's so good to like look back. And some of the things that mean the most to me are from the families.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, the families, you don't always get to see them. They don't always get to be in the classroom. At least, you know, it's a little bit different for you, I think, because your families are always like,
we have them in the building a lot,
yeah.
But still it means so much when it comes from the whole family or from like the mom or dad.
Right. To hear them say like you know, how much of a difference you've made for their kids, or just a simple thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I get that from families, it means the world to me. And so, and now, like you said, they're electronic. So like I screenshot them and I save them.
Yeah.
Because you want to look back on those. Lots of people are saying that they have stashes of notes. Amanda calls it a sunshine box.
See, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Well, listen, y'all, we're going to keep talking for a few more minutes, but I want to remind you that we are giving away tickets to Elevate Phoenix and Elevate Virtual tonight. Super easy to enter. All you need to do is join us in the comments. And the more you comment and the more you hit the share button and invite your friends, the more chances you have to enter our giveaway. And we'll do that here in about 8 minutes. Also want to let everybody know that you can come and hang out with Kim and me at Elevate Phoenix and Nashville. Dallas is sold out, so you can't come to Dallas and hang out with us. But you can come hang out with us at Elevate Phoenix and Elevate Nashville. Kim is going to be one of our keynotes at both of the conferences. So we're so excited that you are a part of Elevate, because the mission of Elevate is exactly what we've been talking about tonight, is to support teachers, to uplift, to encourage one another. And at the end of the day, yes, we are going to give you real, usable, simple content that you can take back to your classroom tomorrow. But even more importantly, I think, is that we are going to love on you. Mm-hmm. And we want you to walk out of Elevate feeling encouraged and inspired, validated. We hear that a lot, that people leave our conference and they feel seen, they feel heard. And that's what Elevate's about. And so, Kim, you are the perfect fit for Elevate. And so we are thrilled to have you joining us this summer.
Thank you. I really am excited, and I've loved seeing how your conference has grown. And I've heard I love that you have practicing teachers who are presenting, you know, because we're still doing it every day. Look, right. In the day, I decided that, you know, everybody keeps asking me when I want to retire. I'm not even close, but
good. Yay. Good. I'm glad.
But the day, you know, COVID taught me that, because like I was teaching virtually all through COVID, but I was like, I can't. But I love my house. I have a happy home and all, but I can't just stay here. I have to be around people. I don't know how in the world I'll ever retire. I make jokes that when I'm ready to, even if I'm just completely crazy and too old, they're going to keep me in a room and they're going to have a schedule where kids and adults come in and ask me questions and let me think I'm making decisions. But I'm really not. It's just they're going to prop me up and appease me to keep me happy because I won't leave. So I don't know.
like that movie Weekend at Bernie's.
Exactly.
Right? You'll just be sitting in the room hanging out. People come in and talk to you. Ask me a question and tell her it's a great answer.
I
love that.
Sarah, thank you for saying you like my books. That means a lot to me too. It really does. I appreciate that.
I love that. Weekend at Bernie's. Kim Bearden edition.
Yeah, I wonder. See, we're aging ourselves here. Some of the people probably don't know what that is. They've probably never seen Weekend. There you go. If you need like a Netflix watch, go find it. It's a one of those movies that's so stupid you can't help but laugh. It's funny.
Right. Right. Listen, if y'all got nothing else out of this tonight, go watch Weekend at Bernie's.
There you go. And I think that's important too, is, you know what, like, yeah, there's nothing like watch stupid movies that make you laugh, you know, don't come home, you know, and read trashy beach reads. If that makes you happy, do whatever it is you can. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that too, to keep yourself, you know, ready to go. Right.
You've got to have that self-care. You've got to find ways to just, you know, there's a TikTok that's been going around, and it's a guy teacher, and he's basically just standing there, and it's just background noise of kids screaming and talking. And it's like, you know, why do you come home and you're like exhausted every day? And it's like, this is why, because this is what our day is like from 7:45 to 3:00. That's what it's like. Right. You know, there's so much stimulation. So when you come home it's okay to just sit down and watch trashy reality TV or, ridiculous movies about dead guys named Bernie, because
That's
sometimes
right.
we just
Let
need to
your brain.
decompress.
Greg, do you mind if I tell, a couple people asked what RCA was. Do you mind if I just take a second to explain where I am? So y'all, I'm the co-founder and executive director, in addition to being a full-time teacher, at the Ron Clark Academy. We're a school in Atlanta, and we teach kids in 4th through 8th grade. But what is also unique about us is we're a school for teachers as well. So 2 to 3 times a month, teachers from all over, they come to our school. We have professional development, but also what's kind of very unique is that teachers sit in our classrooms and they watch us teach, not because we're perfect, because there's no such thing, but because you may work in a building with some phenomenal teachers, but you never actually watch them do what they do. We go in our classrooms and we close our doors. Teaching can be a very lonely profession, and you have people who in your building who could really impart ideas for us, but we close our doors. So we have teachers who come, sit and watch us teach, and then take our ideas back. So over 140,000 teachers have been to our school in the past 17 years. So we're real proud of that. So we're really trying to help do just like Greg is trying to do with Elevate, just try to give tools to teachers and uplift them and support them. And somebody asked about my books. I wrote a book called Crash Course. I have a book called Talk to Me, and I have a book called Fight Song. They're very different. Talk to Me is really how do you deal with difficult situations and conversations with parents or with coworkers or with students. It's really about how do you communicate effectively. Fight Song, though, is kind of my personal journey and my story. So that is the book. If you're like, I don't even want to get up anymore, I don't know how to keep doing what I'm doing, it is a book that's designed to help. How do you keep going when sometimes it's just a victory to get out of the bed? And so I kind of tell my personal story and some trauma that I went through and how it, what I learned from it and how it made me where I love doing what I do. So
awesome. Well, listen, y'all, RCA, the Ron Clark Academy, is a phenomenal place. I've had the privilege to visit, and apparently in how many years, Kim? 17 years, you've missed 3 teacher training days.
I missed 3 teacher trainings, and somehow Greg and I think he just schedules every time when I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to take that personally.
But listen, if you ever get a chance to go, and just like Elevate, what you learn at RCA, even though it's 4th through 8th grade, you can bring that back to your classroom, right? I came away encouraged and inspired, and so I highly recommend it. If you ever get a chance to go, definitely go. It's phenomenal what they do, and so much that you can bring back to the classroom. So I also want to correct myself. I made a mistake. Kim will not be joining us in Nashville. She will be joining us in Phoenix. So nobody get mad at me.
Is it Phoenix and Dallas I'm going to? See, I don't even know. I'm in different cities this summer, so I hadn't even.
Listen, aren't we the best spokespeople for this?
I may have just shown up in Nashville and said, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be here." I don't even know.
But yeah, so Kim will be definitely joining us in Dallas and Phoenix, and Dallas is sold out. So if you want to hear Kim, if you want to see Kim this summer, you can join us in Phoenix. And we also have our virtual option because we know people can't always come in person, so you can join us for Elevate Virtual. So we have a giveaway. We'll get ready to announce those winners here in a moment. So we'll give everybody one more chance to enter. Leave us a comment, hit the share button, and we'll announce those winners here in a moment. But I want to give Kim a chance to kind of leave us with a last thought to keep us going for the rest of the year.
Okay. I guess I would tell you this. At the end of the year, sometimes those kids who get under your skin the most, that's the biggest challenge, right? Those kids who are challenging. I always say the kids who are most difficult to love often need love the most. And so what I would say to you is that when you want to get frustrated or you just, really irritated with a child, just understand that when you have an impact on that child, you may not realize at the moment, especially if you teach really young kids, you may not see that transformation, but you have to understand you are planting seeds. Even if it is just that child understands there's somebody who's patient with them, or that child understands there's somebody who is consistent in their life, or somebody who shows up every day, or somebody who's kind even when they're being difficult, that kind of thing. And when you affect that kid, you really are not only affecting that kid, you're planting seeds that will actually have an impact upon that child's future spouse, extended family members, colleagues, business partners, employees, anybody that child one day in their life will have an impact upon, you're having an impact upon as well. So if you think about that, you multiply that by the number of kids you teach, and then you multiply that by the number of years you're in this profession. Sometimes just those simple moments with a child, you have no idea what that one little interaction might actually do as far as a ripple effect that will affect people in the future. And you have to see that as a sense of purpose, even though you might not actually know exactly what happens. You have to believe it because we know that it does happen.
Absolutely. I love that. I think that's the perfect way to kind of wrap things up. All right. So Jose is going to choose 2 winners. So we're going to give away a ticket to Elevate Phoenix and a ticket to Elevate Virtual. If your name is announced, you will need to email Crystal at elevateyourclassroom.com, and Crystal will take care of you. So if you win, Crystal at elevateyourclassroom.com, and she will hook you up.
I feel like we need a drum roll or something. Do we need a drum roll?
We used to do that, and Jason would make the drum roll, and it sounded like a turkey. All right, Marnie, and I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'm not even going to try.
The name Marnie is such a happy name. I love that name.
I like that name. Marnie, congratulations. You've won a free ticket to Elevate Phoenix. Congratulations, Marnie. So we will see you in Phoenix. So reach out to Crystal at elevateyourclassroom.com, and she'll get you set up with your ticket to Phoenix. And next, we have a ticket to Elevate Virtual. All right, Pamela Carden Arredondo, you've won a ticket to Elevate Virtual. So you will also reach out to Crystal at elevateyourclassroom.com, and she will hook you up with your prize. So congratulations to our winners. And thank you to everybody who spent time with us tonight. Kim, thank you so much for making us laugh and encouraging us, and for being in the classroom with us.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing you this summer. Thanks for this time. And shout out to all of you teachers. Y'all like giving congratulations to the people who won. See, that shows the kind of people that are on here. You're awesome. I appreciate all of you.
Well, thank you all so much. Listen, we love you all. We appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do for your students, for your schools, families, and communities. We know teaching is hard. We understand, but please know that you are doing amazing things, and you are making a difference in the lives of your students and those around you. Keep up the good work, keep going, and know that we are here to support you. If there's anything we can do, reach out. We hear you, we see you, and we are so honored to be in this profession alongside you. Thank you for making us better teachers. Thank you for all that you do, and we will see you very soon. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.